Good morning, dear friends. It's Saturday, November 14th, and it was really important today to do the new moon video, but it's also important today to do a medicine wheel video because of circumstances coming up with our new moon tomorrow. Before I start, I will ask you, if you care to, please like this video, hit the subscribe button, and a notification will come to you the minute this gets out. You don't have to wait for Brian to email or for us to post this on social media. That's really important because somehow in the lofty world of Google, it helps to get the message out and keeps our content current and available to people, which is the whole point of this. So as I launch into this today, we're in a new space trying to manifest the light. I have been enjoying this beautiful November weather, which has just begun to turn in the last day. And because the veil has been so thin for the past, at least a month, we've had the big full moon on Halloween, we've had All Saints Day, All Souls Day, Remembrance Day just this week. A lot of spiritual activity, and when they're this close and this able to communicate, I get little nudges booting me along to get some words out from them to those we are friends with out there in the big world. So right away, as soon as this video is done, later today we're going to do a medicine wheel part 3 video and actually discuss how you make ceremonial medicine bundles for the purpose of ceremony, because the next 3 or 4 ceremonies are doozies, and a lot of people have been asking, how do you make a ceremonial offering and what's the process? So that will be in the next video, shot later today and posted hopefully tomorrow. But for now, I want to talk about the new moon coming up tomorrow. So we're here on the medicine wheel, moving into the 12th moon cycle. We're past the halfway point in this year, so this isn't a perfect year. The 12th moon cycle isn't happening exactly on the place it would in a perfect year. For those of you who are familiar with it, this is cold weather moon is the name of this moon cycle, and the grandmother is gives praise woman, and we'll go into depth into what this moon cycle represents in the next video later today. But to satisfy those ancestors who are nudging at me, as I mentioned, to give some messages, I brought in the decks I usually like to use. I do mix it up, but I brought in the decks and I pulled cards from 3 or 4 different decks here, I guess 4 decks, with some timelines and some ideas. And it's interesting because these cards come from all different decks. It amazes me how the one card that speaks to an issue happens to be the card that comes from each of the decks. So you just, as I say jokingly sometimes, but it's really not funny, you can't make this stuff up. It's just amazing how this goes. So I want to reference the positions on the wheel with exactly what the author has to say. The cards for East, South, West, and North come from the Naked Heart Tarot. And bear with me for a moment. So the first card representing the East position, so the walk we have to think about every morning now for the next 2 weeks, is the Six of Swords. It's Turtle Mother. There she is. Six of Swords in the protection position. And I'm just going to give this to you from the author because I can't say it better than Jillian did. Gentle and compassionate thoughts towards myself. I create space where healing happens. When I have a clear state of mind, hope is invited to enter as I release and heal thoughts of the past. It frees space for my thoughts to come into alignment with where I am now and where I see myself headed. As I think with discernment, I trust myself fully. But this is in the protection position. So the heart seems to be a little disconnected here. So I ask myself, is it possible that what I am resisting is persisting? And this speaks with the natural human compulsion to resist change. And Gibbs Praise Woman wants us to get out of this fear space, the head space of fear, because fear and faith cannot exist in the same continuum. Consequently, we tend to hold on to things that we're having difficulty letting go. And that can be beliefs about ourselves, situations we're in, bad relationships, unsupportive jobs, difficult family circumstances, things which no longer serve us, but we're too afraid of what the other options in the future might be. So we're holding ourselves in the past. Another reference to this is hanging on to the ghost lands, because ghosts can consume considerable amounts of energy and life force. So we need to look at how do we change and heal thoughts about ourselves and let go of the things that we are resisting and letting to persist. So when we're capable of doing that, we move to the south position of the wheel. And we have Makwa Dodem, bear. And this is the Eight of Cups. And again, I will just give this to you straight from the author. I always have the option to walk away from anything that does not resonate with my heart. I was born from love, and it is my birthright to stay aligned with this feeling. I can choose to explore a new journey and discover what aligns with my truth, because what aligns with my truth will always feel deep and meaningful and will serve my soul. So the request to cut the mental, because swords are mental, and stop resisting new insight, new intuition, and a new journey. Another caution, though, comes from the card in the west position, which is a little coyote, and it's the Innocence of Wands, which is the same as the Page of Wands, if you want to be technical. All right. I have to take the glasses off. I am the innocence of my light. I am being encouraged to get in touch with my inner self. As I learn and figure out the passions that drive me, they will help ignite me. Wands is a fire element. And if I do all that, if I stop trying to push the river, if I walk away and take on new circumstances, recognizing my innocence, which speaks to, because this is in the reverse position, not to get caught up, to really think about this so that we're not caught up in impulsive intentions with lack of follow through, undeveloped ideas that get shrugged off, ignoring limiting beliefs. Make sure that you are being patient and responsible. Being aware of the innocence of others around us, but not being naive. Okay, but this is our journey, our soul journey. And so coming to the Ten of Cups, you've gone through a whole whack of emotions. You've been on an emotional journey. We all have with this crazy pandemic. But not allowing ourselves to get stuck in old thoughts and fears. We are being given this time. We need to see this as an opportunity for growth. We have no choice but to isolate and cocoon. The butterfly doesn't go in, the caterpillar doesn't go into the chrysalis or the cocoon knowing that it's going to turn into a big pile of guck and come out as a butterfly. It just knows it has to do it. It doesn't fear doing it. This is our cocooning time. When we get to the Ten of Cups card, the North position for this is just 2 weeks we're talking about. This is about, I have gone through an array of emotions in life and have learned to connect with them, explore them, and heal them. I have learned to restore balance and harmony within. My commitment to self-love and expansion allows me to offer emotional support to others and share in-depth connections in times of joy and happiness. My heart is full of pure emotional wisdom. Positivity emits from me, and people feel a magnetic pull to the radiant, comforting energy. I am complete as I am, here and now. But because this is in the protection position, it asks us, do I really feel connected to my full value and worth? So, as I have mentioned in the past, we are like that surfer off Hawaii. We are either riding the energies of these new moons and full moons, and we're focused and discerning and committed without fear, maybe excitement, but without fear to this journey, and we ride that wave. Otherwise, we're going to fall off our board and become confused, and the great white shark is going to come up and bite us on the arse. And no apologies for my swearing. I do swear. I'm sorry. Sorry. Sorry not. Okay, so that's the nature of the next 2 weeks. What's this cycle of 2 weeks? If we're able to disconnect from old thoughts, old paradigms, old realities, the solar astrological cards that came up for this time are Chiron, which is healing. The next card is Capricorn, which speaks to the time from winter solstice into January. So whatever we're putting, whatever intentions, practices, and changes in our thoughts about ourselves, however we make this holiday season new for us, it's going to manifest in positive things in January. And finally, they're asking us to look at the first house, house planet in the planetary continuum. If you know astrology, it's important. If you have your birth chart, go look at it. If not, go to astro.com, type in your information, including your, obviously your birth date and time of birth. If you don't know your time of birth, use noon on that day, or give me a shout and we'll figure it out. This is about the body healing. By January, the body. The body doesn't just heal by itself. We are body, emotions, mind, and spirit. The cards I pulled from the ancestors, messages directly from them. And I sat my beloved crystal skull, Jorge, here with the ancestors. First card, Wish Upon a Star. This is the time with this new moon. The stars are our ancestors. From the stars we were born, to the stars we shall return. I speak at winter solstice about the ceremony of the longest night and the ancestors. You send out your thoughts, whatever you wish, in your prayers and in your ceremonies, like the ceremony we'll be showing you in the next video. You don't tell the great mystery, creator, God, whatever. You don't tell them how you want it to manifest. You release and surrender those wishes and then say thanks. Why? Because this is Gives Praise Woman. And we'll get into that a little more. Second ancestor message is a deep breath. This relates to the first chakra. This card relates to brow and crown chakra. So in order for your wishes to be manifest, you have to be grounded. So that's an important first step. And then we come full circle. This card sits right above, releasing that which no longer serves us and is holding back. And it's a willing release with faith, no fear. And the final four cards that sit in the middle of the wheel for me, because I always use these cards. No matter what cards I use for these particular new moon and full moon videos, every one always has cards from the Judith Pintar deck. So the first card says, transformation comes from the here and now. And if you can't see this card, it's a baby hand transforming into a child hand, manifesting into the adult. Regardless of where we are on our journey, we are always transforming. And it's our thoughts and our contemplative awareness of self that predicates how that manifests. How does that manifest? Another here and now card with vision. This card shows a couple cradling an infant. Every idea has to be born, and it's born from our mind, and it won't manifest until we give it some thought and nurture and support, just like a baby. What that brings us to, whatever we're manifesting now in our thoughts and our visions, by the south position of the wheel, here, we get transcendence. I'm still of the belief that this pandemic will be calming down by next summer, and we will have opportunities back that we haven't lost. To feel it as a loss requires mourning, and that's something we have to shift away from, because we haven't lost anything. We're just being asked to reassess how we live our life and deal with this planet. I'll come back to that. The last card in that series from the Pintar is coming full circle from the north, the Gaia, the all that is. This turtle mother is upright. The very first card from the reading, she was in protection position. So just because I'm talking about 2 weeks doesn't mean that the thoughts and the things we are birthing, the planning we put into our lives, that it will manifest. And it's going to manifest and impact an entire year. So 2 weeks worth of input and energy output provides the ability to completely rechange, rebuild, renew. Now, I know a lot of individuals suffer from seasonal affective disorder. And with the holidays approaching, holidays are celebrated, and I'm not talking just Christmas, and New Year's and solstice. I'm talking about, there are many, many celebratory times. And solstice in and of itself is a transition. Some people have seasonal affective disorder because of the lack of light. Some people just don't celebrate anything and they feel isolated. Some don't have family to celebrate with. Some just are feeling this overarching fear and sense of loss about what's happening with the pandemic. It's the opposite message of this grandmother gives praise woman. Let me read you what she's about. She is the mother of all acts of thanksgiving and the keeper of abundance, the guardian of ceremony and ritual, the keeper of magic, the mother of encouragement and the guardian of celebration, the wisdom keeper of the act of giving and receiving. She teaches us how to return thanks for the abundance we need before it arrives. That's what happens when we put that seed thought out. Wish upon a star. And then give thanks before we ever see it manifest. We're just trusting that it will. Anyway. She teaches us how to return thanks for the abundance we need before it arrives, making space to receive it. How to celebrate every victory in life with joy, ours as well as the accomplishments of others. How to use right attitudes to create magical changes in ourselves. How to create abundance through praise, giving, and receiving. She teaches us how to be grateful for the truth. I can't emphasize enough that if you're starting to feel yourself slipping into an old way of being, remember, we're cutting the tie that bound us to that old thoughts, the old way we did the holidays, the old people we connected with, the old fights you anticipate, all that stuff. We don't have to have that. It doesn't matter if you're 90 years old. And if you choose to wish upon a star and change that, it will manifest. And what we change right now takes us through not just 2 weeks, but apparently this entire year. And the first stage we will notice is next summer, and the final stage is when we come back to winter of 2021. This is so powerful, kids. It really is. So, just into a few minutes into tomorrow is this new moon day of Gives Praise Woman. It is a super new moon, meaning that it's in perigee. The moon is the closest to the earth it can be. So the power is there. From a shamanic perspective, this just makes me giddy because I can do ceremony. And these ceremonies will take me farther into the universe. Brian as well. When we do our ceremonies together, individually, whatever, it's going to allow us to use that energy from the moon being so close to make profound, instant, radical change. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about the prayer bundle because that's what we're doing for tomorrow. 2 weeks after that, the night of the 29th and 30th, is a full moon with a penumbral lunar eclipse. Wowzers. And then finally, a super new moon in perigee with a total solar eclipse. on December 14th. So teaching you how to make prayer bundles will help you to make a bundle for each of these next major solar, astrological, and lunar astrological events. I think that's all I want to go into for this time. But please know that you've got to get out of the tape recorder mind. It's the ego that prevents us from saying, yeah, I'm 59 years old, I can change. You can. Prayer, respect, praise, gratitude. It's ours. Miigwech, Nyaweh. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like it.